Will is not the end goal, nor are people like Fat Joe, nor are people like Tupac. They're not the end goal. Her end goal is to see the complete and utter destruction of men, period. She knows how to manipulate men. Why? Because she wants them gone. You got people like Fat Joe now that might be included in this. I mean, Fat Joe just trying to sit down in the sidelines and do what he doing, and here she come walking and pulling my boy in. Look, yeah, he might be part of the do dirty crowd, but he hasn't been in the limelight. And he might be here soon. If it's up to Jada, she's gonna find a way to drag that boy in. But what's her ultimate goal? Jezebel, y'all know them names? All of them had one intention, to lead people straight to the gates of hell. We got another one to add that to, and that's Jada, trying to lead you straight down to the gates of hell. But don't fall for it. Now here's what's going on. She recently had an interview where she was talking about this ayahuasca thing that, we talked about Machine Gun Kelly and what's her name, Megan Fox using this thing. It's a hallucinogen. You take a drink, I think of it, and you end up going, woo, and you come back saying you had some kind of spiritual reckoning and some awakening happening. No, you just got high and you were lost, you spaced out, and you thought you were seeing Martians. That's all that was. You didn't meet God. But Jada seems to think that, that's what it did for her. And now she's trying to spread awareness of all the holiness that can come from inhaling some medicine that will make you high and crazy.
Ayahuasca really was...
That was the turning point.
So that in and of itself turned you from the brink of suicide.
And I never had a suicidal thought again.
Now don't fall for this stuff, people. Really don't. Because what this really is the next leg in her journey of trying to populate hell and depopulate heaven. Because of who she works for. Everybody knows who Jada works for, right? She's not even a secretary. She's like a high-ranking general in the devil's army. And she's got a lot of clout. Not only clout, she knows how to manipulate men. Why? Because she wants them gone. There are tons of things I used to know when I was younger that I don't know now, but one of them that stuck with me is how to manipulate a larger body in terms of a human and move them around the way I want with very minimal effort. And so what we had to learn was fulcrums and how to pivot certain parts of your body to maneuver someone that could be 100 pounds heavier than you at the drop of a dime. Jada seems to have mastered that mentally and emotionally. She knows how to take big people we thought were unbreakable, and just snap them in half. How did she learn that? Like I said, her pops taught her that. The devil himself. When she was rolling in the crowds with people like Tupac and Biggie, she learned it because, those two served the same master and they were there before she was. They got a hand in it long before she did. She was not immune to it. She joined right in and she went right along. And now here she is, years later, doing exactly what she was planning to do from the get-go. And that was lead as many as she can down to hell. But not just that, at the expense of men. You got people like Fat Joe now that might be included in this. I mean, Fat Joe just trying to sit down in the sidelines and do what he doing. And here she come walking and pulling my boy in. Look, yeah, he might be part of the do dirty crowd, but he hasn't been in the limelight. And he might be here soon. If it's up to Jada, she's gonna find a way to drag that boy in. But what's her ultimate goal? The degradation, removal, and emasculation of men. Why do you think she's trying so hard to look like one? You see, if you can, and this is the feminist movement in a nutshell, okay, hear me out. You take yourself as a female and you demonize your own traits. If you stay home, that's bad. Children, bad. You love your husband, bad. You need to be more masculine. Then turn to the men. You want to take care of what? Bad. You protect, bad. You need to be more sensitive, more emotional. Do what I tell you to do. Be a simp. You emasculate the man, you emasculate the female, and what you get is a topsy-turvy world. And you also get people like Jada who are more than happy to let this happen, and not only let it happen, but cause it. How do you go? I'm not saying that Will was always a stand-up guy. He always had some traits about him that were not quite straight. I'm not going to say no. Same thing with Tupac. But how do you try to put out this image that you're this masculine dude while you can't even stand up in your own home? What was it about Jada that kept him so subverted? How did she manage to break a man's will so deeply that he doesn't even recognize his own self? How did she manage to break so many men in the past that none of them, to this day that she's had interaction with, even resemble something called man? She's become quite proficient at it. I watched a movie called The Matrix once, right? And if you watched the first one, I'm pretty sure it was the first one. Yeah, I think it was the first one. And at the end of it, he meets this guy called the architect. And he says that we've destroyed Zion quite often and we've become quite proficient at it. That's Jada. She is now become the architect of the destruction of the male here in America, at least for now. And she has become quite proficient at it. She has been so proficient that she's been able to seed a man and push him to the ends of his sanity and keep him so at her feet that he might as well have a collar on, chains, and linked to this throne that she's sitting on. But will is not the end goal. Nor are people like Fat Joe, nor are people like Tupac. They're not the end goal. Her end goal is to see the complete and utter destruction of men, period. For whatever her purposes are, and I don't even care to know why, I just know that she's doing it. She's been trying to do this for a long time. If you look at what she looks like now, and I'll let you take a look at it, you can't, okay, I remember Jada being at least pretty. I don't know what that is, but that is not a female. Whatever she has become now, Terminatrix, whatever term you want to use that's not feminine, that's what she is now. So you always become the thing you what? Hate. Most of the time, you become the thing you hate. And that's exactly what Jada has become, the thing she hates most, which is what? Men. I don't know what hurt her in the past, who hurt her in the past, or if anybody ever did hurt her, or if she just had this innate hate for her pops, some male in the family. I don't know what triggered her. But I do know whose side she's on now and who she's working for. And so men, y'all gotta watch them females that listen to this lady. That whole red table nonsense that she set up and spoke to females and they really bought into that stuff. If you have any interaction with a woman in your life and you hear her say, I was watching the red, just say, if she even here says red table, that's your red flag. Just get running. Start booking it. Take the door, elevator. If you look, I'm not one for hurting yourself. If it's 2 stories up, jump out that window, bro. You'll have less pain landing and breaking both your legs than you will have dealing with that particular female. Because their goal is to emasculate and ridicule and to make you subservient to them. It's not about preserving male and manhood, and it's not about enhancing their femininity. It's about usurping your role and taking where you're supposed to be and taking it for themselves. For those of you who think that we may be wrong, proof is in her pudding, not mine. You can look and see for yourself that that is no longer the female, pivotal word, the female that used to be Jada Pinkett. So for what we have to see and what we can tell, her goal is clear. She's working for her pops, the devil, and her goal is the destruction of the male figure. And right now, she's doing a really good job of it.